Good morning. As usual, I had crazy dreams, and I'd like to tell about them because they're so weird they must be shared. What do you think, Tootsie? You good girl. Good morning. Thanks for tucking me in last night, and thanks for waking me up gently in the morning. Oh yeah, I know you're nippy and hungry. It's okay, I'll let you do your thing. So it's fading already, but I'll see if I can remember. The marks are from my CPAP mask. I just took it off. Okay, so I was at a university, I think as a student, and at some point, and I can remember bits of it, I created a big sculpture that was modular. You could take it off in bits, and some parts were like compartments, some were drawers, it was kind of hollow inside, but you could screw in pieces with like a giant bolt and a PVC tube with something around the inside. So it was secure enough you could probably climb on it and stuff, and sort of like a staircase, but not technically a staircase, so a piece of furniture. You could go up about 1.5 stories in it and slide on down as well. It was roughly helical, but you only knew that from the top. You can't see it from the bottom that it is. It was sort of dragony and sort of like a map of the world and stuff like that. It had connections to Catan and other games and stored games, and also was part of game pieces. It was like puzzle pieces of the world that could come apart. Yeah, but also related to Avatar: The Last Airbender and some other crazy stuff. It was very cool. So there was sort of like a history of the world in the Avatar: The Last Airbender universe, and the different like tribes, the different types of benders and different chunks of the world were separate and then united. There was a story to it. There was a whole thing. Anyway, so I worked really hard on the sculpture. It was incredible. And I did it in sort of like a lobby of one of the dorm buildings that we were all living in. It was sort of like a guerrilla art project where I'd have friends help me like rush in and assemble things real quickly and then disappear into the night. So nobody knew who was building it somehow. It just kind of slowly came together. At some point, a whole bunch of admin, which of course terrifies me to death because everything I do, especially being autistic, eventually someone's going to get mad and be like, you didn't do the thing we expect you to do. You are now in trouble. You must do this. We're going to put you between a rock and a hard place and force you to undo the cool thing you did, because that's how the world works. You know, a little trauma there. So a whole bunch of admin showed up, people I didn't know, of course, all looking official and wearing their blazers and, you know, being stern, which means, of course, they get their way. Whatever. And I must do what they say immediately, of course, even though I'm still creating my piece of art. This installation piece that wasn't quite installed because it wasn't quite done. I was creating it in a study space, like a library area, like loungy, not courtyard, but like indoor courtyard. I don't know what to call it, like a lobby area where students assembled in the storm kitty. Yeah, what do you think? She's not sure. Anyway, I was still working on it. So they come over and of course they're like, you need to get rid of this garbage. I said, it's not garbage, it's a piece of art that I'm doing for my independent project class or whatever. I don't know, some advanced arty communications, whatever class. And of course I was just doing it for myself, but whatever. It can always apply to a project because it was pretty universal and all-encompassing. It sounds totally insane, but it was very cool. So they show up and they're like, you need to get rid of it, it's in the way, it's a nuisance, whatever reasons they had. I'd already figured out no violations of code, it was all fine, legally totally cool, because it's important to do so, especially if you're creating a piece of furniture that people are climbing up and sliding down, which is very cool. So they start like picking up and throwing away, or like moving away my pieces out of the area, and somehow magically I thought of that ahead of time, and I put up little signs everywhere. Do not touch this. Do not touch my things. If you take them or steal them or throw them away, you are responsible for replacing them at a cost of $5,000 for materials plus labor or something like that. Like it was a legalese thing that somehow I'd already gotten figured out and written out and like posted. And it was temporarily like posted on the stuff, on the parts of the giant dragony world like stair like slide like piece of furniture. It was very weird. And some of my friends who were helping me set it up were kind of like chuckling to themselves, and I was just like feeling very proud of myself that I thought of that ahead of time. Yeah, Tootsie, I know, this is weird. I'm talking to the phone. You okay? Oh yeah, a little bleary-eyed. Yeah, we just woke up. Like, I haven't even gotten up to go pee yet. I'm trying to very quickly tell you this story before I go do morning things. Because I think that dreams should sometimes be enjoyed. They're so weird. I take venlafaxine, Effexor, and that tends to add to the weirdness of dreams. And then I've always had creative, strange dreams anyway. I usually remember the ones right before waking up for a little while after waking up. Okay, this is a long video, I'm trying to hustle. So start taking pieces away. So instantly they're liable somehow and need to pay me back at least $5,000 for the materials and then so much more for the labor. And I was pretty attached to the sculpture, but I gotta say, that much money lets me make many more sculptures. And so it became this guerrilla movement, sort of like, not improv anywhere, but like flash mob, only art and creation and guerrilla creativity. It was very weird. It was very cool. To all the things that I like and would love to do if I had more abilities and better ideas than the weird one in my dream. That's partially medicine and hunger induced. I think I went to bed without having eaten enough. I remember some heartburn at some point. Okay. So they started taking things away, and somehow they're liable to pay me more money than I initially invested, because it would cost $5,000 to get new replacement materials, but a lot of them I had sourced for free, and of course some were garbage, but they don't need to know that. And I'd cleaned it up and covered it and macheted and painted and whatever the hell you do to make it hardcore and beautiful and up to code, of course. So anyway, it became this thing. So if they're gonna force my hand and like get rid of the garbage art, and of course this is all just in my dreams, so it's not real, then I'm gonna take the money and make more of these things. So the first one was that dragony thing that was sort of helical, but you couldn't really tell until you were at the top of it and you could slide down, which is very cool. The next one I did kind of like the very hungry caterpillar, but it was like a Godzilla mouth, like rawr, very Trogdor, like an aggressively cartoonishly bad version of Very Hungry Caterpillar that was kind of like this 3D. So it was like an attack Very Hungry Caterpillar, and it would have been perfectly interacting with the dragony thing, kind of like a Godzilla Mothra, like Gajira, big monsters attacking each other, like interacting thing. But of course the first sculpture is missing, so you had to just picture it. And I already made t-shirts and stickers of like the Very Hungry Caterpillar one and the dragony rolled like one interacting, with like a dotted line around the first one because it wasn't there. It's very interesting. So whether or not I finished this piece was irrelevant, because I knew at some point they'd try to take it all away. I was already thinking about like, which lawyer would I hire to help me with this adventure? Which law student wanted to like dip their toe into like this kind of law, whatever that would be, and help me with some weird thing. So it kind of became all about like, do you want your university to support creativity, learning, and making cool things? Or do you want to just kind of look and sound like you do and then destroy the thing? It was very cool. It was very meaningful to me. It was very strange. And I kind of want to draw a cartoon of the Very Hungry Caterpillar one and the world dragony helix staircase, but not staircase, piece of furniture one. Anyway, that's it for today. It's starting to fade. But create cool things. And if people try to take them away, they are the losers. And you should benefit, even if just in your intellectual moral superiority, I guess. I don't know. It'd be really cool if all the artists and creatives out there had some sort of legal go-to. There probably is something like that, but it's just sad that it's not easier to just create things without creating too much of a nuisance or danger to the public good. All right, I'm gonna go start my day. Thanks for listening to my weird dreams. Bye.